Are you feeling like the job market is really tough right now? Trust me, you are not alone. In today's video, I'm providing you with 5 golden tips to get hired fast in today's tough job market. Now, I warn you, these tips are powerful. I just received a note yesterday from one of my clients who landed 2 jobs in 2 years with AWS and Genpact using these strategies. Here's what Ram had to say. He says, I wanted to share with you all that I have taken up a senior role at Genpact. The coming of this role had almost every step laid out in the Job Hackers Method program. I could not be happier, as this was the second time that the Job Hackers Method have come to aid me in the past couple of years, and both have been economically very bountiful. In the first, when he landed his role with AWS, he actually doubled his income. If you haven't subscribed yet, then hit that subscribe button and the bell and be notified every time that I post a new video. My name is Stoltzfus. I'm the founder of the Job Hackers Network. I help engineering leaders who are experienced to be able to truly control their brand, control their career by building their personal brand and by growing their ability to impact more people's lives. All right, I've got 5 tips for you here today, so let's jump into the first of these 5 very powerful tips and tools. The first of these is going to be to bring your greatest tool, your value proposition. What is a value proposition? It's a statement that enables somebody, the receiver of that statement, to be able to say, that is who you are, that is who you serve, and in what way do you serve them? To what operational end? To what outcome do you serve those people? So now this person is seeing you, you're coming across their doorstep. Maybe it's in a networking message. Maybe you're sitting literally across the table from them. Maybe it's somebody that you approach in the elevator, right? We call this an elevator pitch as well. But what it enables them to do in just a couple of sentences is say, I get it. I see you. I understand you. And that is so critical because for us to be recommended forward, for us to be in a role to be hired, we have to be understood. Somebody has to be able to say, okay, I get it. That's who you serve. That's what you do. That's what it would look like for you to be inside my organization solving my pain. And we are definitely going to talk more about pain as we move forward in these 5 tips. All right, let's dive into tip number 2. And this is one that people really stub their toe on quite a bit. This is going to be to equip your ICAs. I call them ICAs, your ideal contact advocates. So equip your ICAs with awareness and equip them with your value proposition. So the reason why people really stub their toe on this is because when they get laid off, oftentimes is when they run into the wall. They get laid off, they jump on LinkedIn, and they say, hey, I'm available. And in a moment of panic, we open up a limited networking door for people to start meeting with us, to start talking with us. But wait a second, talk with you about what? You haven't sat down at the table and said, this is who I am, who I serve, and what I'm here to accomplish. And so when you open up the door and you just simply give awareness, that's that first part, but you don't deliver your value proposition, you're not equipping somebody in your network, somebody who knows you, who would love to advocate for you. You're not equipping them to be able to do so, okay? In every aspect of working with individuals, networking, you want to lower the barrier to entry, right? Make it easier for somebody to be able to serve you, to be able to help you. And so when you have clarity and you can say, this is who I am, this is who I serve to this end, and this is more specifically the landscape that I'm trying to do it in, you've seen my work in another area, they desire to advocate for you. Now they have the words. You've given them awareness and you've equipped them with your value proposition. And that's how you open up the floodgates to advocacy, to things coming into your world, coming to you. Open roles that really aren't open roles, they're just open needs. They're putting you in front of people so that you can have jobs built for you. That is where advocacy occurs. Tip number 3 is going to be now to define your targets. What are your targets? It's going to be a series of, or a set of, maybe 10 to 15 ideal companies that you would like to work for. Now, you're going to have to do some research here, right? Get into the culture, the makeup, the life cycle of where that company is at, the industry scope, maybe the industry specifically, but also the area. Are they startup? Are they pre-IPO? Are they mid-cap? Are they Fortune 100? And you need to know this because as you're going after, let's say, the smaller folks, pre-IPO startup versus the organizations that are in the Fortune 100, in the Fortune 100, your area of control is going to be very vertical, right? You're going to own a very vertical, siloed operation. But in a startup, it's very horizontal. And so the titles are going to be different, the scope is going to be different, and the people that you're going to be targeting to have conversations with are going to be different. Okay, so we want to define specific companies and then also define layering that you want to come into those specific companies based upon the scope of what it is that you do, where you impact, where you play, where you're moving the needle on the business. If this is helping you, then I want you to smash that like button down below because that will help this video to be seen by other individuals, right? The algorithm knows this is amazing content. Let's push it forward. This is going to help engineering leaders, operational leaders to be able to brand themselves and market themselves in a tough labor market. But I also want you to answer this question for me in the comments. How do you feel that the current job market compares to the job markets that you've faced before in the past? Look at your results. If you're networking, are people responding? If you're applying to jobs, which I don't think you should do much of, but if you're applying to jobs, are you getting responses? So how does this current labor market for you compare to previous labor markets and the success that you were able to see in your job search? Comment down below and let's get the conversation going back and forth. I promise I will respond to you directly. Now, the fourth tip, now that you know who you serve, what you do, right? You've got that value proposition, you've got some targeting. Now I want you to drill further into the pain. Whenever we're marketing, what we want to do is associate what we bring to the table, our product, what it really truly solves, what pain it addresses. And the more in any sales process that you can get to the pain and the solution that you provide to that pain, the more assured you're going to be that you're going to make the sale. When you're going out on the job market, you are making a sale. The product is you. But when you associate with the specific pain that you solve, and you're able to understand, boom, this is the value proposition that associates with solving that pain. But now let's drill a little bit deeper. Now let's look at the stories, the times when you delivered impact towards solving those problems, solving that pain set. The best way to interview is to come to the table with about 8 to 10 stories, complete stories, situation, action, result of when you moved the needle and you solved pain. It gives you the ability to answer any question that comes at you in the interview process, right? When you have that full, complete story, now you just need to look for the angle in. Networking is the same way. Drilling into the pain that you solve will enable somebody to then see you in their world, taking ownership of something that they want to remove from their plate. That's how you get the highest compensation. That's how you just flat out get the job. That's how you get things created for you. Because somebody says to you, on the other end of that networking table, they say to you, Ryan, where have you been my whole life? I've had this problem, but I haven't had a solution. Or now you're helping me understand that I have this problem. What will it take for me to get you in my organization solving that problem? That's where you increase revenue or you increase your compensation package by up to double. Because now it becomes about the value of the pain that you're solving, not about what you used to make. HR cares about what you used to make, not the operational leader who actually is the owner of that pain. And that brings me into the fifth component.
Are you ready to start or optimize your job search process? Do you feel stuck and need help connecting the dots? Join this free web class where you'll learn the step-by-step formula to control your career progression. We've helped hundreds of experienced engineering and operations leaders just like you to build their brand and grow their impact. Register for this exclusive training today to step into the driver's seat of your career.
You want to find the owners of similar pain to the pain that you've solved before in the past. So now, this is where you've got those target companies. You understand the scope of where you want to enter into those target companies. So if you're moving into a director of operations role with a $30 million P&L, okay, who are you going to be looking to? If it's a flat organization, maybe you're looking to the SVP of operations who has a $100 million P&L. If it's a matrixed organization, maybe now you're looking to individuals that might be in a peripheral, maybe strategy, maybe logistics, but people with, right? So you're looking at that person or that set of people that would have a center of control, maybe even a center of influence, but more importantly, a center of control over the role that you want to be created for you inside of that organization. Okay, so it might be a general manager with a $300 million P&L for you to grab a piece of the pie, a piece of ownership, and solve the pain that he has in his world, right? Let's just stay on the director of operations as an example. As a director of operations, we don't all approach it the same way. You might be supply chain logistics, you might be process improvement focused, right? You might be people leadership engagement focused. Well, that's very different than the way another individual approaches it. You are highly unique, but you need to first come to terms with that uniqueness so that then you can deliver it on paper and verbally so that somebody can see you in their world solving their pain. And then they're just saying, I have to have it, right? It's like that steak that you have to take a bite out of. You have to have. No matter what the market price is, right? You're at a good steakhouse, they don't list the market price. You want the steak. You buy the steak. Now, if you want to soundboard with me directly about the strategy that you're trying to execute in your job search process, maybe you're trying to execute something and you're just not getting responses. You're not getting to the table consistently with hiring leaders and having these types of conversations you know you should be having. Let's soundboard about it. Let's talk about that. But if you do, right? So first off, in the description below, there'll be a link to my calendar for a one-on-one conversation. But do not click that link unless you are serious about executing process and strategy in a strategic job search, a purposeful job search that's going to optimize your output. If that's you, right? I typically work with director of engineering, director of ops, up to VP, SVP of engineering and ops, but leaders in those spaces to help them grow their P&L, to help them grow their impact by building their personal brand and being able to execute on these tips, as I showed you Ram's testimonial earlier, being able to help you execute on these tips that will absolutely set you up for success and change the trajectory of your career. If that's you, then let's talk. Now be sure to check out these two videos that I'm going to post up in the top corner above, all about helping you build that brand, helping you execute purposefully in today's tough job market. I will see you in the next one. Have a great day.